Welcome back. In the last class, we talked about your blueprint, that subconscious part of you that is driving a majority of your actions, thoughts, feelings, and decisions. And today, we're going to go a little deeper into the beliefs found in your blueprint that are driving your life. So let me start by defining two types of beliefs. The first is limiting beliefs. These are things we believe about ourselves, others, the way life works, how we relate to the world, things that inhibit us in some way, keeping us back from our full potential, who we want to be or where we want to go. So a strong limiting belief that I used to have was that I cannot trust myself. This was holding me back in so many ways, because if I can't trust myself, I had to rely on everyone else to know what choices to make. I had to look to other people around me to make sure the things I said and did were okay. I really couldn't even be myself. I had to be who others expected me to be, because I couldn't trust myself to really even know who I was. And one single belief like that can have a huge effect on everything we do, often in more ways than we realize. And then there are empowering beliefs. These are the beliefs that are helping us move forward, lifting us up, moving us through life to be who we truly want to be. So I replaced that limiting belief that I cannot trust myself with a really empowering belief that I can trust myself. And now that belief does so much for me. I can be myself way more easily. I don't always have to look to everyone around me to know if I'm making a good decision or doing the right thing. Because I can rely on myself, I can help myself, and I can direct my life. And it's so incredible how one empowering belief can do so much for you. And today I want to talk with you about shifting those limiting beliefs of yours into something empowering. And hopefully you're able to recognize some of your own limiting beliefs at this point. Things like, I'm not good enough, I'm helpless, my feelings are too big for me to handle, I have to do this or that. Now here's an important note about these beliefs. Two people can have the same belief, and it can be limiting to one person and empowering to another. It's totally personal. So if you have a belief that you're not in control, that could feel more like you're trapped and there's nothing you can do and you don't have the power to change anything. Or that could feel really relieving, a release, like I don't have to hold on to all these things because I'm not in control of that, and that feels great. It frees me up to focus on other things. Because this is what I do with my clients, I see these beliefs everywhere, so they can be easy for me to point out. But maybe you're having trouble finding the core beliefs that are holding you back, or making those connections between your blueprint and the effect it's having on your life. So one good way to draw out those beliefs is to ask yourself why. Get curious about yourself. Pick an action or a behavior or a thought of yours and ask, why am I doing this? Why do I think that? And with every answer, just ask again. Annoy the heck out of yourself like a toddler asking, why, over and over again. Or have someone else ask you. That adds a little more pressure to actually come up with an answer. And then you have to say it out loud and really feel what's coming out of you as you unearth what's beyond the surface. Also, just like the same belief might mean different things to different people, sometimes we get really good at disguising a limiting belief with positive wording. So I could say, I deserve to be happy. And that could be so empowering to me, giving me permission to have joy in my life, pushing me to pursue what I love. Or I could say, I deserve to be happy, when I really mean, I deserve to be happy regardless of what that means for anyone else. I deserve to be happy at my family's expense. I deserve to be happy even if I need to run over my children to get what I want. So even though this language can feel empowering, this belief is still limiting because I can't be happy and give my children what they need. I can't be happy and consider the feelings of others. I can't be happy and provide for my family. So it can take some digging to get to the root of your motivations, to find where those beliefs come from, how they're showing up in your life. And we've talked about your blueprint and how that's formed. So let's go a bit deeper into how limiting beliefs come to be. So your blueprint is built not by what happened to you and around you, but how you made sense of it all. What it meant to you. We are constantly trying to make meaning out of everything we encounter. And so these beliefs develop out of that meaning. In our early years, it's typically our parents or caregivers that contribute to the way we generate those meanings. For example, a small child gets into something dangerous he isn't supposed to, and his parent yells across the room for him to stop. That parent may have just been trying to communicate that they don't want him getting into that and getting hurt, but being yelled at was really scary for him, and now his brain has to figure out what that means. When his parent just yells and leaves it at that, he may not hear, oh, they love me and are just trying to keep me safe, and it would be good for me to not get into that again. But instead, this adult doesn't like me, or I'm a bad kid, or it's not okay to explore. That child may not be consciously aware that those are the things he's thinking, but it's subconsciously being written into his blueprint. Now in the next lesson, we'll be talking more about what you can do in those situations to help your own children make sense of their world and create blueprints that will serve them well. But for now, let's keep talking about what can form from these beliefs. Traumatic events are also really good at writing really firm beliefs on your blueprint, like a car accident or abuse or a natural disaster. Now with support, you may be able to process through that really well, or you could come to believe that bad things always happen to you, or something was your fault, or you deserved what happened. Big stuff can come out of acute traumas like that, especially beliefs involving your safety. I can't protect myself. Driving is too dangerous, or even just, I'm not safe. And then there's the everyday stuff, the way your parents or caregivers disciplined, the way they talked to you, the way you were treated. You may begin to implant a belief really early on. Maybe even as a baby, you learn that you couldn't get what you need because you were left alone crying. And then all through your life, all these other things happened that proved this belief to you over and over. As a toddler, you lashed out when you were hungry, but instead of getting the food your body needed, you were punished for acting out. I can't get what I need. And then in school, you didn't understand something and you wanted help. But instead of helping, your teacher criticized you. I can't get what I need. As a teenager, you just wanted to connect with your friends and have social support and belong somewhere. But you got excluded from events time and time again. I can't get what I need. Now as an adult, you still have to cater to your mother's feelings when she never cares about yours. I can't get what I need. The problem is, once that was in your mind, it started snowballing. The more it showed up in your experiences, the more you believed it. And the more you believed it, the more likely you were to attach this belief onto new experiences. It became stronger, deeply ingrained. So strong now that even if you see evidence to the contrary, it feels like an exception, not the rule. Like your neighbor brings over dinner when you're not feeling well, and you think she must want something from you because that's the only explanation for her meeting your needs. Your mind sees what is strongest. I can't get what I need. And it will not let you believe something different. It won't let you see that your neighbor simply hears that you're sick and wants to provide a meal so you can get the rest you need. Then your brain can actually take it a step further and sabotage your life just to keep proving that your belief is actually true. You might work yourself to the bone, doing everything for everyone else, never taking time for yourself, never doing anything you want to do. You don't even try to ask for what you need because you wholeheartedly believe that you cannot get it. But since you do have more control over your life than you used to as a child, you are actually a big part of keeping yourself from getting what you need now. At one point, that belief helped you learn how to live. It was your way of surviving, coping with the hand life dealt you. You needed to believe that you couldn't get what you need. That was how your mind made sense of your needs not being met when you were too small to meet them for yourself. But now you are grown. You can get what you need, but you still don't. Because that belief is no longer helping you. It is limiting you. And once you become aware of that cycle you're stuck in, holding a belief, living in such a way that you keep proving its accuracy, writing it on your blueprint again and again, once you can see what's happening there, then you can begin to change it. So what do you see? What is holding you back? What pattern is keeping you in the past? Take out your shifting beliefs worksheet now and follow along with me there. Pick one limiting belief of yours. I can never do anything right. No one loves me. I'm just not an emotional person. Whatever it is, pick one to focus on for now and write it down. How does it feel to you seeing this belief written out? Now, taking however long you need, I want you to list out all the things in your life that this belief is affecting. Where is it holding you back? What is it keeping you from? How does this belief cause you to feel or act? When it seems like you've thought of everything, dig a little more. What else? How is this affecting your kids, your partner, your friendships, your work? Pause here and write down all the things that come to your mind. Now just imagine here, if this belief were not true, what would that mean for you? All of these effects it's having on your life that you've just listed, what if those problems were gone? What would be possible for you if this belief was not limiting you? It doesn't even have to be realistic. Just use your imagination and dream big. Who could you be? What could you achieve? What might life be like? If instead of believing I'm not enough, you believed I am enough, more than enough even. If instead of believing this is too much for me, you believed I can handle this. Listen for the opposite empowering belief here. Now, as we begin to picture life with a different kind of belief, this is where some of us start to worry about getting a big head, thinking too much of ourselves, or being prideful, self-righteous, or arrogant. If we spent our lives thinking very little of ourselves, it just doesn't feel natural. It can even feel wrong. You might live in a society where it's frowned upon to really love yourself and know your worth. And it can be hard to keep that influence out of your mind, even when you're just trying to imagine the future. But you don't have to fight with those voices right now. Just let your mind dream. If your belief is keeping you from understanding and communicating effectively with your partner, imagine the level of connection you could feel if you did understand and know how to talk with each other in a way that brings you closer together. If your belief is causing you to lose it with your kids, imagine how much patience you could have, how good that would feel to not be so easily agitated. If your belief doesn't let you try that new thing you really want to try, imagine what you could do if that wasn't a roadblock anymore. It may sound like wishful thinking, because it is, but we've already established that your thinking has a pretty big impact on your life. If these beliefs are powerful enough to keep you from what you want, they're also powerful enough to get you where you want to go. So what is the opposite of this limiting belief of yours? What would empower instead of limit you? What belief would support you, move you toward your dreams? Write down your new empowering belief now. This is your new blueprint. Now, our minds are interesting things. Sometimes they change in an instant. Boom, limiting belief gone, empowering belief in its place, suddenly a totally different person. Other times it's like unlearning an old habit and learning a whole new one. Or maybe your mind is somewhere in between those two. Wherever you're at, celebrate that. You're actively changing your mind, and that's amazing. And if you're on the long road, let's talk about how to support yourself through that transition. So your brain has these messaging streams, neural pathways that send information from one place to another. Basically, when you develop a belief or a habit, a pathway is created. And the more your mind uses that belief in your decisions, actions, thoughts, the stronger that pathway becomes. Like sledding down a hill over and over, making a deeper imprint in the snow, the sled will effortlessly follow that groove as you slide down. Now, when you want to change that belief, you've got this deeply ingrained place that your mind wants to take you. It feels so much easier to just keep doing what you've always done and keep following the same path, keep believing the same things. The cool thing, though, is that when you bring in something different, a new habit, a new belief, a new pathway is created. It's just not as useful as the existing pathway yet. It's not quite as effortless. So to change over to the new path, it takes a lot of intentionality. At the beginning, telling yourself what you want. I don't want to hold on to that belief anymore. It helped me get somewhere at one point, and I'm grateful for that, but it's not getting me where I want to go anymore. So I'm going to choose this other belief instead. And this is a great start because it points you in a different direction. That old groove is pretty strong though, and your mind easily pulls you back over to that pathway. That's okay, just pay attention to it. Whenever you notice yourself slipping into that old belief, just interrupt yourself. Oh, that's not who I want to be anymore. And you can course correct. That limiting belief of yours may have had a really long time to grow. So building a new path can take a lot of repeating over and over and over, following that new path again and again to make it stronger. So look for the evidence. Your old limiting belief, look for proof that it's not true. Your new empowering supportive belief, look for signs everywhere that this is your reality now. Before long, your neural pathways will become so stable and secure that your brain doesn't need the old one anymore. And you have remodeled your blueprint. And the more you do that, the easier it will become. And now you get to enjoy all those things you dreamed about. All these new possibilities are open to you. There's one less thing holding you back. And now your beliefs will drive you to a life you love to live. You have the power to change your mind. If you haven't already, complete the Shifting Beliefs worksheet, and I'll see you in the next class.